say that the 2 million members of SEIU have the backs of our members here in the great state of Maryland. Because we know that you've been knocking doors, making phone calls, talking to co-workers, making sure that you turn over every rock and turn everybody out so that we can take that 53% and kick it up to 75%. SEIU nurses stand with Ben. SEIU nursing home workers stand with Ben. SEIU hospital workers stand with Ben. SEIU airport workers stand with Ben. SEIU janitors stand with Ben. SEIU security officers stand with Ben. Adjunct faculty, Maryland Public Schools, every public service worker stands with Ben. And we know that when we stand together, no matter what color we are or where we come from, we can elect champions like Ben Jealous, who are going to take the politics of business as usual and turn it into a politics that wins a just society for all of us. Is that right? Yeah! And I have to say, this is a man who walks the talk. I have worked alongside of him when he worked in the NAACP. He took on really tough issues in really tough times and turned the tide across this country. And that's why I'm so proud to come home early from London, where we were negotiating with security officers and airport workers around the world to make sure that I threw the support of our entire union behind what you're trying to make happen here in Maryland. Amazing to me. This is one of the few candidates for governor in this nation at the moment that's insisting that we have to have health care for everybody in this state, and that we're going to go beyond the Affordable Care Act and insist on universal coverage, and you can lead the way here in Maryland. Is that right? It also comes to a candidate who's taking a fair shot for dreamers and insisting at this time, when the current administration is immoral and inhumane on the southern border, Ben Jealous is saying that every immigrant and refugee should be welcome in this nation and treated with respect. Woo! So it's time to stand up for Ben. Are you standing up for Ben?
Yeah! Can we win?
Yes, we can.
How do we win?
Only with Ben.
Can we win?
Yes, we can.
How do we win?
Only with Ben.
So thank.
Yes, we can.
It's okay. We love that chair. So let's keep standing together, showing up at early vote, knocking doors. You've got this. We got you. I know buses are coming in from New York, from other states this weekend for driving out the vote on Tuesday. So thank you so much, Ben Jealous, for your courage and your willingness to take us home.
Wow, it's good to be here with the purple and gold. And let's hear it from Mary Kay Henry, Lisa Brown. Brothers and sisters, wow, we have come a long way. We started off in the beginning. He said we were crazy. Pointed out I was in 4th place. Well, we're in 1st place now. And that's what organizers do. They say the things that we want to do are hard. They say raising the minimum wage to $15 per hour across a southern state is hard. They say passing Medicare for all will be hard. Making sure that all of our babies go to good school will be hard. But what worth doing is easy.
Right.
And what is our track record as organizers? Last time I checked, organizing a union is hard. Last time I checked, organizing a new job site is hard. That's what SEIU does. Last time I checked, abolishing the death penalty south of the Mason-Dixon is hard. But we got that done. Passing the DREAM Act down here is hard. But we got that done too. Passing marriage equality they thought would be impossible. We got that done as well. In other words, we are organizers, And what we specialize in as organizers is making the impossible possible, making the hard easy, getting it done.
That's right.
And that's what this campaign is about. Times like these, when working families are more stressed out all across the state than they might expect to be. You know, they say that for the first time in American history, the parents and the grandparents both agree that the children are likely to be worse off. Those kind of times, these kind of times, it are easy for somebody like Donald Trump to pick scapegoats and divide Americans against Americans. But as organizers, we know times like this, when everybody's a little stressed out, and for generally the same reasons, because college costs too much, too many neighbors are going to prison, healthcare costs keep going up, wages are stuck, too many of our young people can't find good jobs. Times like this, it's also easier for us as organizers to pull people together in bigger coalitions than we usually can if we're willing to do the work of organizing. And more than anything, I'm here today to say thank you to each of you. To each of you for the organizing you've been doing, for getting out there and knocking on doors, on making phone calls, having conversations, helping people see that there's a better way. We said at the beginning of this, we were building a movement on Trump's doorstep to get rid of his doormat, Larry Hogan. Folks tell you, Hogan's not a lot like Trump. Yeah, that's all right. I'll concede that. I mean, they're two land developers who don't do a whole lot for working people, but beyond that, their personalities are kind of different. But Larry Hogan sure is best friends with Betsy DeVos, the most anti-public education Secretary of Education in American history. Larry Hogan seems to have no problem with Scott Pruitt because he had an opportunity to object to an EPA chief coming in from Oklahoma who had said when he was in Oklahoma he would destroy the Chesapeake Bay recovery plan. He kept his mouth shut. And when it comes to Jeff Sessions and Donald Trump on immigration and incarceration, he is their parakeet. Whatever they say loudly, he just tweets himself. Calling for a return to failed war on drug strategies like mandatory minimum sentences. Allowing ICE to come in here. I think this just, maybe I'm turning here. Hello? Allowing ICE to come in here and terrorize immigrant families.
Makes sense.
We can do so much better, brothers and sisters. And it's easy for us to know we can do better because it wasn't long ago we were all doing better together. Making big leaps forward on civil rights. And so let's go win this in 5 days. Let's dig in deep. Let's organize. Let's knock doors. Let's make calls. Let's push our neighbors out to vote. Because we know the campaign that we have built is the only campaign that is capable of beating Larry Hogan. We have a responsibility to win this primary because it's the only way we win the general. And we've known from the very beginning that making me governor isn't simply about making me governor. It's a means to an end of finally returning the priorities of the state, the power to run the state, back to the hands of working people. Now, they're going to call us a lot of names in these next 5 days. They've already started. But let's be really clear. As we said in the beginning, this is not about running to the left or running towards the right. This is about running towards the people. Addressing the opiate crisis as a health crisis is not a partisan issue, it's a people issue. Ending mass incarceration in this country where we do not just have the most incarcerated black and brown people, but also the most incarcerated white people on the planet. That is not a partisan issue, it's a people issue. Ending the season of massive student debt is not a partisan issue. It's a people issue. Raising the minimum wage is a people issue. Making it easier to organize is a people issue. Protecting a woman's right to choose is a people issue. Making sure that we continue the tradition of Maryland, the tradition of America, to be a refuge to immigrants seeking safe harbor is a people issue. And so we will go out there and win this primary and go on and win the general on behalf of the people of Maryland who are sick and tired of being sick and tired and ready to get back to moving forward. Thank you and God bless.